Yeah, I heard about it.
What do you think?
Well, waiting to see it. Should be good. I think the idea behind it, something that I know that they've been working on, we've talked about for a while. I think it'll be good, and looking forward to it. Don't know exactly, everything that goes into it, know the ideas behind it, but the experience on game day, one, we feel like we've got a great environment here, just making it even better.
With your team, the offensive line, how's that shaking out? What are you kind of looking at pecking order wise now heading into game prep?
Yeah, Mason Hampton's our starting center. That's what I know at this point. I mean, really, we've been moving guys around. We'll probably have a better idea next week when we get into Tuesday's practice, and we'll get everybody out there and get into that true game plan week. But Mason's had a great camp. I feel like Garrett Larson's really improved from spring to where he is right now. Eric Cavedo has done a great job. Really liked him. Ezra Cleveland, we've talked about him. We got to see where he falls into the mix. Then John Molchon, Archie Lewis, those guys obviously fall into that category as well.
At the beginning of fall camp, we asked you a lot about what you lost at wide receiver and Thomas Furbeck and Chaz. But over these last 3 weeks or so, have you found out much about what you have returned? I guess. I mean, and I pass catchers as a whole, rope tight ends in there too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Said, Jake Rowe, both those guys, continue to elevate and have been solid all the way through camp. Feel good about where those guys are at right now. I think Chase Blakely's had a great camp. Is another guy that's got the ability to be a receiver at the tight end position and then be physical at the line of scrimmage. Those two guys at tight end have done a great job. And then A.J. Richardson, has had a great camp. Really since the third day until now, he's really accelerated his development. I think he's gotten better each and every practice, gotten quite a few reps. Sean Monster, Keelan Butler, those guys that have played in some of those roles. We didn't have many guys catch a lot of balls last year other than Thomas and Chaz, so they can do it. It's just a matter of getting them out there and actually seeing that done on game day. But they've really done a good job in camp.
The wide receiver position is one where two true freshmen names have continued to come up with CT and Octavius. And I don't know if you've made any calls yet on guys you really think are going to contribute as true freshmen, but happy with?
Yeah, we haven't. We've talked about those guys until we actually go out there and play. It really comes down to that week. Those two guys are on the ready, and they've certainly done well. And they've put themselves in a position now. Before we go out there and actually play them, we got to go through a week of prep and get those guys in position. Because the bottom line, any true freshmen that play, we want them to be successful, and we want to make sure that we're able to utilize them on special teams. They're going to get their opportunities on offense or defense, and they got to have themselves prepared to play. Because when you get into a game week, it is different, and all of a sudden now every little detail matters, and you've got to be prepared to go out there and play.
Cedric said when players met with you after last season about what needs to improve, things like that. He said a lot of guys said teamwork and the bond aspect, and I noticed that a lot of guys have brought that up here in fall camp about how it's been better. Was that something that needed to improve, and how have you tried to foster that?
I think it's something that always needs to improve. I wouldn't say on any particular team. I think it's always something that you're trying to build, every single team. And when one team is finished with the season, you create a brand new one. You're starting back over. And so to me, teamwork's all about being intentional. You can talk about it all you want. You can say this is what we need. As a teammate or as a team, you're either intentional about it and trying to build those relationships and build those bonds and build that trust, or you just talk about it. And I would say this about this football team, they've actually done it. They've worked with each other. I think the relationship they have, the unity that they have is better, but it's still not where it needs to be. That's something that grows through an entire season, and I think great football teams get closer as the season goes on, and they get better as the season goes on. So that remains to be seen. We had a good camp. I think the team has gelled well together, but until we go out there and play and we face some adversity and we kind of find out what we're made of, that remains to be seen.
There's a lot of talk in fall camp about the competition among the position groups. How does the competition change when you go from fall camp into in-season mode game week?
A little bit different rep-wise, and you're not so much competition where it's your offense against the defense, that type of competition. It really becomes a lot more mental competition, and when you show up for a Tuesday practice, are you prepared? This is your opportunity. Are you prepared to go out there and execute? And if you're not, is the guy behind you ready if you're not able to go out there and get it done? And so it becomes a lot of mental competition at that point. Who's really preparing themselves on a Sunday and Monday to be ready on a Tuesday practice? And if you're not doing that, then you should have somebody at that position ready. And sometimes it might be competition by a play. This is going to be his play. It might be competition all around that that particular person in that unit played a little bit in the game. You got a chance to go watch it, and all of a sudden now he's making a move in that starting role. So